Okay, so that's the recording started. Your reminder, I'm playing Mr. Guest. Stick up your hands if you have a question, and I'll call on you in turn. And on my screen, it doesn't just show me the hand, it shows me the order that you put your hands up in. So I will take them strictly in that order. So let me just start my 15-minute countdown timer and then call on Jamie Mclean for the first question.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Guest. Why have you come to us today? So,
why have I come to you?
Yes.
You asked me here for the meeting. Didn't you read your brief?
No, I read it. I just wanted to do an opener. Well, what problems is your business facing just now? What would you say is your biggest problem?
Well, again, you've read the brief. So what would you say is our biggest problem of all the ones that were shown in the document that we sent you?
That would be your competition that's emerged over the years.
Okay, it's definitely a problem. Is that you? We'll move on.
No, I was just, yeah, sure.
Okay, next up is Sean McLean.
Hi there, Mr. Guest. It says here that both you and Liam meet with consultants regularly, and you provide them details about your financial figures. Would we be able to get a copy of those figures?
Can I just drop out a character here and remind you that you are the consultants? You are the people that we're meeting with.
Oh. Okay, never mind. I'll just...
However, going back to the question, yes, I will place a copy of the financial figures and make them available to you.
Thank you, that'd be fantastic.
Jamie, you still have your hand up.
Oh, okay. Other than the brochures, what sort of online marketing do you do, and how would someone book a hotel room for your website?
Jamie, I'm 73 years old. I don't do online.
Okay, that's all I needed to know.
Next up is James Agbota.
Hello, Mr. Guest. I'm just wondering, how is your relationship with local businesses outside of the hotel industry, specifically the golf course or the leisure centers?
We go on fine with all of them. I mean, it's a small town. We all go to the same places. We're all members of the Rotary Club. We all chat to each other. Because we're complementary businesses, we don't particularly have competition. But the new hotel that's been built, of course, that is an issue.
Okay. From reading the brief, it looks like it's a fairly close-knit area. I was wondering, are there any festivals or sort of tourist attractions specific to your area?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay. Just sorry, one more question if it pops up. If given the opportunity, would you be willing to sell shares in the hotel to other businesses or to a family?
The reason that we've engaged consultants is to look at all of our options, and at the moment nothing is off the table. I see someone has contradicted me and said that there are music festivals. There aren't. Our hotel puts on music every weekend, but it's not a festival, it's just music. Next up is Jonathan Gillies.
What sort of procedure do you have for like checking people in and out? Is it an electronic system you use, or is it just like paper by hand? like taking IDs and guess names in a book?
No, we don't have any electronic system. What we have is a big A4 desk diary, and we use that. So when people phone in to book a room, we have it mapped out with the room numbers against a line, and we'll just go down and book them into a particular room in that diary. If they're booking in for multiple days, we'll put the name and address on the first day, and then fill it in on the next days with C and whatever particular date it is. But no, there's nothing electronic.
So you don't do you check IDs against these names when people check in case room damages or anything like that, and you have to find them to charge them for fees and stuff like that? Or do you just have to bite the cost?
There's a few different options depending on who they are. So you'll have seen, hopefully if you've read the documents, that we get a lot of corporate business.
Mm-hmm.
So companies will hire rooms in the hotel. For that, clearly we don't ask for anything because we are fairly comfortable that the companies will be responsible for any issues.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the stuff we sell as a package. So it might be 2 nights accommodation, bed and breakfast with a dinner thrown in. And for that, we ask for payment in advance using a credit card. So we have the credit card.
Right.
And what we'll always say to them is we'll keep the credit card on file for any charges. The obvious one is if they buy drinks, but actually our lawyer advised us on how to write the document, the sign-in document, so that actually covers any damage or any charge, any reasonable charge
Mm-hmm.
that they incur. The final one is for walk-ins, so people who haven't booked, but they will sign the same sign-in form, and we'll also ask them to pay by credit card.
Okay.
Where they want to pay by cash, we will accept cash, but we will still require the credit card for exactly the situation you're talking about.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next up is Sean Mclean.
Hi there, Mr. Guest again. To me, it seems that you have quite a marketing issue. You're using outdated methods of advertising your company. Have you ever thought about asking Patricia, your daughter, for advice on that? And if so, what advice did she give?
Well, firstly, can I just point out that you're a really rude young man. You don't know anything about how we advertise. So for you just to come out with that, I think is completely out of order. And I think I'll be speaking to your managing director about how his staff talk to the clients. As to the substantial point, Patricia works in London, and of course we talk, but she's a busy woman. And one of the reasons that we are where we are just now is because of Patricia and Liam's situations. And that's what we're trying to navigate through just now.
Okay, thank you very much.
Next up is Lee Thompson.
Hi there. Earlier, when you were asked about your relationship with local businesses, you said that you're a complementary business to things like the golf club and leisure centre. It's been noted that the new hotels have been causing issues for you guys. Do you think you could identify the primary reasons for the decline in engagement from the commercial and business side of things and the banqueting side of things over the last 5 years? What are the other hotels offering that you guys don't?
The new hotel is part of an international chain, so they may have accounts with that chain. So a lot of our commercial business stuff goes through, as no doubt you know, commercial travel agents who work with particular companies to get preferential rates. So whereas it was just us in the town, now that we have this competition, it's not just competition in terms of the hotel, it's competition because they are part of a wider group who can offer better rates. if the organisation chooses to use them only, and a lot of them do that. The other
Right.
issue that we have is that it is a newer hotel. I can't dispute that. So some of the facilities are at least superficially nicer. So we're losing some of our, so things like our wedding business. They can do packages for the wedding and for overnight accommodation for guests that we simply can't match. And in part that's because they've taken our commercial business. So Monday to Friday it's busy with business guests. At the weekend when it's quieter, they make up for it by offering reduced rates to people who are attending the events. And we just can't match that.
And that's why you can't compete in those two areas. Okay.
That would be my guess, but that's part of the reason you're here.
Yeah. You know, do you have any sort of figures, or can you put us in contact with anyone that can give us any sort of figures on the other areas of business? You know, what percentage of the local population chooses to use your hotel for, you know, the bar and restaurant versus other hotels in the area? Is it really these two businesses?
Well, no, there's lots of other restaurants and bars in the town. And I don't have that type of analysis. That may be something that we should do. I don't know. What I have is a balance sheet, a profit and loss account, and just general operating statistics. And someone asked earlier to see those, and they've now been made available.
Excellent. I was going to ask the same.
If you check, you'll see that those are available now.
Okay, so you just can't compete with this you know, business that's getting, you know, it's in your hotel, they're getting better contracts that have already been established and so on. Okay.
Well, I hope that we can compete, but then that's part of what you're here to help me with.
Yeah. So, you know, what sort of intangible resources could your hotel provide to find business in other areas if it's just not possible to compete in the commercial and business and banqueting sense?
Was that a question or a statement?
Yeah, question. I mean, you
What do
know,
you mean by
you're
intangible?
either looking to pass this on to your son and daughter, or son or daughter, sorry, or sell the business, and you know, we're looking to help you make that decision.
Once again, could I ask you to watch your tone? I'm
Sure.
employing you, so I don't need you to come in with this attitude, okay?
Sure thing. Yeah, I'll get into the role play. Sorry, my mistake.
Okay, next up is Lee Thompson.
Oh, that's
Or was that you?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I put
next
my
up
hand down.
is
Sorry.
Gary Brawley.
Hi, Mr. Guest. I was wondering, what part of your business do you value most?
In what sense?
What part of it is most important to you?
In
Like,
what sense?
in terms of, do you value community engagement, or do you value just the bottom line, or?
I value not having a £50,000 overdraft. Everything else has to come after that. I'm running a business.
That's it.
Next up is James Agbota.
Hello again, Mr. Guest. Just wondering about your customers. Just more outside of the outside of trading with the hotel. What sort of complaints or feedback do you often get, or just things that seems to irk them in general, not just about the hotel, but in general? Because especially if you spend a lot of time communicating with your customers, are there any sort of repeated statements that come to you?
Yeah, the issues are always in terms of the fabric of the building. So the staff are doing well, and they've got nothing but nice things to say. But again, it's been a while since we did up the hotel. Some of it's a bit faded. You know, we could do with replacing some mattresses. So that tends to be the area where the guests are, upset's the wrong word, but that's where they comment. And I think they would enjoy some updated facilities. Now, actually, our time's up, but I don't want to disadvantage those who came in late. So there are 4 people: Jonathan Gillis, Matthew McPherson, Orobosa Aboya, Sean Mclean, and I see Jamie McLean's jumped his hand in at the last second. I will take those people, but I won't take any more questions. Okay? So, Jonathan Gillis.
Hi. I see you have quite a large car park that can hold about 150 cars. Do you find that's usually quite full just when you have like guests in the hotel, or is there a lot of space left over that you could allow non-guests to park with for extra, like for a fee?
I can't remember the last time it was full.
Okay. Do you have? Is there a ticket machine?
We
or
only
anything like
have
that in the
35
place?
rooms, so
Mhm.
you know, people that are coming to stay, if they're coming from a distance, they bring a car. That's 35 cars.
Yeah.
If it's for an event, it's usually local people, and they tend not to bring their cars because they're going to have a drink.
Okay. Would you be opposed to allowing non-guests to like park in there for fees or anything like that?
I'm open to all good suggestions.
Okay. Thank you.
Next up is Matthew McPherson.
Hello, Mr. Guest. I understand you want to move on to Liam and Patricia as to take over the hotel after you retire. But is there any suggestion of having, since both are busy at the current moment with other engagements in their life, would it be in London or would it be a catering manager for Edinburgh? Is there any suggestion for other members to take over the hotel in the meantime whilst you want to retire?
Again, I'm open to all suggestions on how it might work.
Okay, thank you.
Orobosa Aboya.
Oh, hi, Tony. I was just gonna ask, right? I know you mentioned about the hotel using the diary to take booking for the room. Would the hotel be open to, for instance, online booking? Because I feel this might give them more opportunities to bring in more customers in the sense that people are able to basically look at their website and be able to pick a room, then make the payments over the phone or cancel and things like that. That might be more convenient for customers as opposed to having to phone to do this. Would they be okay for that?
I'm open to all suggestions that would bring in more business.
Right. Okay. And I was going to mention also in regards to the function room. I understand there's a function room which they try to give out when they can. I was going to mention also that city car park, since it's linked to the function room, would there be something that if guests come around to basically to book the function room, I'm looking that maybe that might be added to the online service as well. And also in regards to the marketing, if they can look at maybe looking at the online side of marketing as well and look at ways where they can actually do a more efficient way. They don't need to spend too much money to do that, but at the same time be more effective. Is this something they'll be looking to welcome as well? Online
I'm open to all suggestions that will increase the trade to the hotel.
Right, brilliant. Okay, thank you.
Sean Mclean.
Hi there. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I've got a couple of questions, if it's okay. Which of your kids would you think would be most suitable to take after your retirement? And are you willing for anyone else to run the hotel in case none of them seem interested or are otherwise predisposed?
For the first part of the question, they are adults and it's not up to me what they do or how they feel, and you need to ask them about that. I inherited it from my father. Had hoped to pass it on, but if that's not where they see the future, that's not for me to try and change their minds. In terms of the second part of the question, we already covered that earlier.
Okay, what about your wife, Mary? Did she have much input into the hotel and running it?
Yes, we do it as a partnership and have done for decades. She's
Okay.
integral to the whole affair. Of course she is.
Okay, thank you very much.
And finally, Jamie Mclean.
I know we've got a wee bit of a overdraft, but in terms of budget, what would you say is an approximate amount that could be used to implement some of these changes that we're planning?
I'm not sure what that question means. Firstly, I don't know what changes you're planning, so I have no idea what sort of resources would be required. Secondly, we're already £50,000 in overdraft, so clearly we're not cash rich. So any sort of input in that sense would have to come from borrowing, in which case we would have to perform a complete financial analysis in order to ensure that the borrowing that we were making had a good chance of being paid back and servicing the loan. That's basic finance.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, that was the last hand. We went a lot longer than I was expecting to. Good and bad. It's good that you got questions and good that you had questions. You really will need to be more precise. I was playing a character there, and you heard that in some of the answers. You have to remember that these people are business people. They don't want you coming in and saying, "Hello, I know you have hired me as a consultant, so tell me what you want me to do." They want stuff from you, and they also expect you to have examined everything that you have up until now. So if you're asking me specific questions and it's already in the documents, they're going to get upset. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 10 minutes to go away in your groups and just write up notes from that and try and see if that's got you anywhere. So we will take a break for 10 minutes and I'll see you back here in 10. Or at least I will when I can get my, there we go, there's my timer to go in now. Okay, I'll see you in 10. Okay, that's our 10 minutes. I see some of the groups are still in their own chat, which is good because I'm glad they're chatting, but it's bad because they need to come back. So let me just quickly send them a message. And hopefully they'll come in. In the meantime, we will get going because we ran over so long with the last one. So even though some people are still on hold, we'll just get going. So same thing. This time I am Mr. Moolah, the external accountant. So same sketch, put up your hand and I will come to you in order that you do that. And nobody has any questions. Okay, Gary's first up.
Can I ask what aspects of the business have been making the most profit over the last couple of years? Not profit, but the most money over the last couple of years.
Have you not actually read all of the documents that I sent you? Did you really come to this meeting without reading the balance sheet and the profit and loss account and all the other things that you read? You want me to sit in this meeting with you and tell you all the stuff that you should already know? Is this really what being a consultant is? Wandering in and asking people to tell them something that they should have read already? Go and read the documents. Next up is Luke Alvarez Murphy.
Okay, it's a bit of a two-part question here, but this might have been in the brief, but just refresh me with how long have you been Mr. John Guest's financial advisor?
It's getting on in 3 decades now.
Okay, perfect. And could you describe, just any simple words, how your relationship's been over that time with Mr. John Guest?
What are you talking about? I'm his accountant. I'm not his therapist. What does my relationship have to do with the finances of the business? For goodness sake. I have to imagine that we get on well enough, seeing as how he's hired me for the last 3 decades. I doubt the same would apply to you. Next up is Sean Mclean.
Hi there. I believe my colleague was trying to ask about the character of John. Is he someone that's financially responsible, or does he tend to ignore sort of debts and stuff, or let a little bit of money slide here and there?
Let money slide here and there.
Yes, like his.
Do you actually know anything about business at all? Are you suggesting that he doesn't pay his bills? Are you suggesting that he's run this hotel for decades without actually paying suppliers, without building up a good reputation? Are you suggesting he's got a £50,000 overdraft because he's chosen not to pay people?
No. I'm just trying to see how we can help in any way possible but we have to know a bit about who we're working with a bit more.
If you want to know about Mr. Guest, then talk to Mr. Guest. It's not for me to psychoanalyze your client. Once again, I'm an accountant, not a therapist. Does anyone have any sensible questions to ask? Famous. Oh no, Famous has put his hand down.
Okay, I just want to ask, good evening, Mr. Guest. I just want to ask to know how many accounts does the hotel has that been running for years? It's just the account that has the overdraft of 50,000.
I'm sorry, I missed the question in there. Was there a question there? I heard overdraft 50,000, but you need to speak up a wee bit.
Okay, my question was on the statement it's written that the account has
overdraft of £50,000. So I'm asking, my question is coming in here, does that it just this is only the account the hotel has, or there are also other accounts that we could check in order to refurbish, in terms of to know how much we need to refurbish?
The information you have is the amalgamated accounts. We do keep running accounts for each sector of the business, but what you have is the overall business accounts, for which we are currently 50,000 in debt over all of the sections.
So that means the hotel has only one bank account which is running throughout this years.
Yes.
Okay.
Next question. Jamie Mclean.
Hello. May I ask when the overdraft has been taken out, and when must it be paid back in full? If there's a
Overdrafts are in essence high interest loans. We are a cash business. As long as we pay back the interest to the bank, they are more than happy for us to run an overdraft. It's not a good basis for a business. It's not a good ongoing situation. And of course, that precludes us from investing in the business because we're paying far too much to service our debt, as any competent consultant would know. Next up, James Agbotta.
Pleasure to meet you, sir. I would like to ask, what is the highest operational expense that the hotel makes?
Staff. Next
Thank you.
question. James, you have your hand up. Do you have another question? Oh, it's gone down again. No other questions? Does that mean I can go back to doing my job now?
We sincerely apologize for taking your time, sir.
Yeah, it
That's
seems
okay,
that the
I'm
colleague's
okay,
just
I
got
wish I had
the.
a proper question to ask. Logan Davidson has his hand up.
Hi, Mr. Moolah. Thanks for taking the time today. Just a quick question. We've received a spreadsheet with the financial results. Was that the original one written by the owner, Mr. John, by hand, or is that the calculated spreadsheet, the accounting spreadsheet?
Given the age profile of the current owners, many of the financial results and projections have been calculated by hand before being transferred to Excel for presentation. It is therefore sometimes difficult to understand how figures relate. I even wrote it in the brief that I sent to you. Have you actually read it?
Yeah, we noticed that it said the results were calculated by hand, but inside that spreadsheet there are some calculations. So it's I'm just trying to navigate that disparity.
There are two things here. The owners are lovely people. Computers are not their thing. They still have a big ledger and they add things up by hand. I then try and make sense of those and put them into a spreadsheet to try and make sure that the accounts balance. But that's not always the case. And it's not from me putting the stuff into the spreadsheet. It's from me being given incorrect information in the first place, which is why I made sure that I put into the document that there may still be errors in there, but don't come after me for them. I know what I'm doing.
I understand that. Thank you. And do you have access to those original ledgers, or would it be John that has access to those ledgers?
I don't have access. John has access. Good luck in getting him to turn them over. I haven't managed to do it in 30 years. Can't imagine he'll be so happy with you doing them now.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks, Mr. Moolah.
Do we have any other questions? Okay, so it's me. I was paid for 15 minutes and I'm not even needing it. Thank you. Goodbye. Now, you'll have gathered from that not all these interviews go smoothly.
Yeah, that was awful.
Not everyone is happy to be
Say that again.
interrogated. Sorry? I missed that, sorry.
Could say that again.
Yeah, the same mistake was made with not reading the documents.
You see, if everyone voted for Kirsty, the receptionist, like I did, we wouldn't have that problem.
I don't know why nobody voted for the maitre d', the manager of the hotel. Like,
How do you know they're any nicer? How do you know
no,
they're
but I
going
just-
to
I
be?
feel like they'd have more information about the hotel.
Personally, this is experience from service industry. The receptionist is paid to be nice. So at least she would be amenable to some unfortunate questions. That's pretty much my viewpoint on the in terms of staff. If you're going to talk to people that are at the back, they're not paid to be nice. So folk, they are paid to do their jobs. That's pretty much my perspective from the sales.
On a more prosaic level, I think you're the first class that hasn't got together to make sure that I played a woman at some point.
Yet.
Yet, that's true. But yeah, that's how it can happen. If you don't go in prepared, time's up. Okay, Google, stop. If you don't go in prepared, you're going to be subject to people who have been there for a long time, know the place inside out, and are wondering why, for example, they haven't been hired to do this job.
I don't understand.
Why are they giving you guys this money when they could do it quite easily? So you need to be on your game for a start and need to make sure that the stuff that you ask hasn't already been covered, because otherwise you're just going to be taken apart. But you also have to get techniques to deal with difficult people.
I think it was trying to word the question that we had was the main thing. Because I wanted to know if John was a reliable person, but then it was hard to ask that question without going, is he reliable? Do you know what I mean? So I was trying to word it in a way that sounded nice, I guess. But then it just came off as
responded, it wasn't particularly helpful. But on the other hand, it wasn't unreasonable either, in the sense, why are you asking the accountant what the owner of the business is like? Is that really an accountant's job?
Tend to find though when
I
money's
just want-
involved. Those are the
I wanted to
tightly
a
knitted.
financial profile rather than like his personality profile, but it was hard to like word it without
It's a
seeming
conflict
like
of
I was
interest as
attacking him.
well, though, isn't there? Because the accountant can never turn around and say that his boss is unreliable and doesn't provide the right information
But
without
essentially, he did
slandering
say
his
that at
boss.
the end. He said he doesn't give him correct information, and anything that's wrong is not his fault; it's John's fault. So in the end, I think he was just grumpy about being there. To be honest.
He's got no interest. Again, he's been doing this for 30 years, so you have to imagine he's older. He's got a lot of experience. So why is he talking to a bunch of wet behind the ears consultants? Why hasn't John hired him to do this, for example?
We should have spoke to the wife instead. I think we should have talked to Mrs. Guest.
Right, from now on, only women.
Yeah, because women can never
That's
be
not
grumpy.
a great idea either, because you never know what kind of woman you're dealing with.
Well, we know what guys we deal with.
Yeah, but you might meet a real viper, and you do not know how to handle vipers.
Are there any
believe-
nice guys coming up?
Any nice guys?
Yeah, can we do some covert recon of the hotel and go in and have a look and see which member of staff seems the nicest.
Wait,
I
staff,
think we're forgetting that we're
reception,
dealing with
maitre d'.
Tony and the 20 personalities. Like, regardless of what man or woman we speak to, they're going to have a beard and a red cardigan on, so it's not going to matter.
Yeah, and I don't think I would point that out to the women.
I don't know. I mean, like, it's lovely to meet you. You've got a cracking beard, by the way. I can see why reception isn't the most popular place for people to come to.
I think we're going down a dangerous path here. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording. I will make this available. I'll stop it just now.